welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 5-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Excited to get into the breakdown. We got some injury news, some stuff that might open some value. Should be a pretty fun slate for a 5-gamer, I would think. Before we do, a quick reminder that if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you are getting very serious about NBA DFS, I would highly recommend my NBA DFS premium package. That's linked below in the description. You get access to all the same tools that I use when building my own NBA DFS lineups, my core plays, access to me in the Discord chat to ask me questions all the way up to lock, and things like advanced player metrics, team stats as far as half court and putbacks, transition stats, offensively, defensively, shooting stats, offensively, defensively, all of that fun stuff, all on a color-coded chart to make it very easy for you to dissect the top plays on the slate. And don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my lock of the night. And let's go ahead and start getting into this one, guys. First game on the slate, we have Utah taking on Miami. 7:30 lock tonight. This game right now comes in with a 213.5 over-under with a 3.5 point spread in favor of the Miami Heat. So not exactly the fastest paced game in the world, but it is expected to stay close. And both of these teams are very good defensively, so it is a little bit scary targeting this game. We do have Donovan Mitchell listed as questionable. Of course, that is big news. We'll get more usage to Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, and Mike Conley if he's out. And then Kyle Lowry is also listed as questionable, which would open up more usage for Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, etc. on the Miami side. So those are certainly two big pieces of news because that's going to impact the rotation and the upside of these guys quite a bit. And it all would start with Jimmy Butler at 9.5. Like we said, if there is no Kyle Lowry, of course, he's going to get a big bump up in usage. He's already a pretty good play as is. He's been producing at a very high rate so far of the season. And you take away Kyle Lowry, that's just going to offer more on-ball handling responsibilities as far as Jimmy Butler is concerned here, and I certainly will have interest in targeting him. Like I said, the only really downside is that Utah is the third best team in points per possession rank. Miami is the second best team in points per possession rank, so this is going to be a very good defensive played game. I'm not really sure that the scoring is going to be there, but someone's got to score, so for that reason, if there is no Kyle Lowry, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of scoring done by Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler. Like I said, those three guys obviously become much better plays. If there's no Donovan Mitchell, obviously it's going to be a lot more of Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Joe Ingles. Those guys become much better plays. If those guys happen to be in, obviously those guys become less better plays. The usage becomes a little bit more dispersed. Once again, the matchup really isn't the great for either side. So certainly some big news we'll be waiting on to get confirmation on whether these guys are going to be in and out, because that's going to impact how much interest I have in that game. Philadelphia taking on Chicago is the second game on the slate. Tobias Harris continues to be listed as out. Ben Simmons continues to be listed as out. Kobe White continues to be listed as out. Furkan Korkmaz and Danny Green are listed as questionable. That's certainly big news. That's going to open up more usage for Georges Niang if Furkan continues to be out. Danny Green, questionable, is also obviously going to be some big news because he'll cut into the usage of Matisse Thybulle, and same thing, Georges Niang. So waiting on that news, but Joel Embiid is going to continue to carry the load at 10-3. Hasn't really had a big game so far, and it's been very frustrating for me because I continue to go back to the well. I continue to play him. I don't know whether to give up at this point or not. I just thought that with there was no Tobias Harris, there's no Ben Simmons, all the usage is going to flow through Joel Embiid. We've seen him take on that responsibility in the past and just go absolutely berserk and go off. So I was really excited to be playing some Joel Embiid when he was kind of the main star of the show. And he's still grading out as a great play for me tonight. At his respective price tag, he's one of the top plays, even on a multiplier aspect, which is what I base my projections on as far as upside at his respective price tag on both websites. He's grading out as a very great play, but unfortunately the production just hasn't matched the projections. So hopefully Joel Embiid can get going this game against Chicago. I had mentioned Chicago was struggling on the defensive glass last time out. He had the same matchup. I really liked him, so hopefully he gets going this game. On the Chicago side, they're much more healthier, so it's a little bit difficult to be targeting them too much here. Vucevic, Levine, DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, all going to be in there cutting into each other's usage. DeMar DeRozan has really excelled in his role in Chicago, I will say, though. Continues to put up 50-plus DraftKings points on a pretty consistent basis, which is kind of crazy. So DeMar DeRozan is certainly someone that's going to be catching your eye and that I would continue to play just based on his current production. And he does grade out as a pretty good play for me in my first look model. Got it projected for 34 minutes, 1.22 FanDuel points per minute. So on FanDuel specifically, he's looking very good. And then when you go over to DraftKings, Not looking quite as good on DraftKings, but still pretty good, honestly. Still pretty good play, and I'm liking him across the board. So, yeah, he would be my favorite Chicago Bull to be playing in this game outside of, well, I don't know. They all kind of grade out pretty well right now, so that'll be interesting to take a look at. But obviously, with these guys cutting into their usage, you're going to kind of have to pick one or two. But honestly, Vucevic, DeRozan, and Lonzo Ball all grade out as pretty good plays to me here. Zach LaVine's kind of been the odd man out, but when you look at the numbers, it's kind of in Lonzo Ball, actually, it's been the odd man out. So be interesting to see how that continues to play out. On the Philadelphia side, it's going to continue to be a lot of Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey usage, especially if there's no Furkan Korkmaz in this one. If there's no Furkan Korkmaz in this one, obviously, if there continues to be some Shake Milton minutes, he's another guy that we'd be looking to on this slate tonight. He stepped into the starting role last time out. He continues to be underpriced. He's only 4-5. Last time he put up 37 DraftKings points. He has a long history of being a very good fantasy point producer, so Shake Milton would become a much better play. Boston taking on Dallas. Jaylen Brown is listed as out, which is obviously some pretty big news. We also have Josh Richardson dealing with some injuries, so Romeo Langford is expected to get some more run here, and I'm also expecting just overall that this Boston's team, the guys that are kind of left remaining, are going to get a big bump up in usage. So Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams, Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart, specifically Jason Tatum. I mean, you take Jaylen Brown out of the equation, and I always say that these two guys kind of feed off each other, but at the same time, I based my plays on their price tags, and oftentimes Jason Tatum's just too priced up for Jaylen Brown being in, and Jaylen Brown's cheaper, so I'd rather just play Jaylen Brown. But now when you take Jaylen Brown out, I don't think that Jason Tatum is overpriced, and I think he could certainly pay off his price tag. This game, as far as the total, comes in with a 215.5 over under. It's a 4.5 point spread in favor of Dallas. I think Jason Tatum is going to be the big part of the game that it keeps Boston in this game, so I certainly like Jason Tatum. And then, like I said, it's going to open up some more usage as well for the guards. Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart, I think we'll get a lot more on-ball handling responsibilities, a lot more opportunities to score. Dennis Schroeder specifically, with there being no Jaylen Brown, he's certainly underpriced. Marcus Smart, I think the same thing could apply for him. So getting pretty excited to play some of these Boston guys, specifically Dennis Schroeder, really grading out as a great play to me, like I said, but Marcus Smart as well on DraftKings. And then over on FanDuel, Marcus Smart certainly grades out as a better play with the blocks and steals, the 3 points for every block and steal that you get, and he's cheaper than Dennis Schroeder. But yeah, both going to be great plays. On the Dallas side, we're waiting on this Kristaps Porzingis news. If he's out, obviously that's going to impact quite a bit. Maxi Kleber continues to be ruled out as well, so that's going to make some more usage, some more minutes. More usage for guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Luka Doncic, of course, is going to take on the main usage responsibilities as well at 10-7, so he'd become a much better play with more upside. And then Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dwight Powell will continue to carry the load as well. Jalen Brunson specifically is a guy that seems to be correlated pretty well with this. The fact that you take Porzingis out of the equation, they need some scoring, so Jalen Brunson kind of steps in and fills that role. I'm not sure that everyone really knows that, so Jalen Brunson's certainly a good play in your tournament lineups tonight. Atlanta taking on Phoenix is the next game on the slate. This game right now comes in with a total of 223 as far as an over-under with a 5-point spread in favor of the Phoenix Suns. Expected to stay close in this one. It's the highest total on the slate. And we could certainly be getting some exposure to this one. It's all going to start with Trae Young at the top on the Atlanta side of things. Hasn't really had the biggest game yet. Phoenix, as far as the matchup overall and my defensive stats over here on Patreon, not exactly going to provide the easiest matchup in the world. Not the worst either, but I mean, they rank 15th in points per possession rank. Transition, however, they have been struggling. 28th in points per possession rank in transition. So maybe if Trae Young can push the ball here and get the ball off the court, get some points in transition, it could pay off. And Atlanta not looking too good in transition either. They're 20th in points per possession rank, 22nd in transition plays. So definitely going to be some opportunity for the guys that can push the ball to get some scoring opportunities. So Trae Young, of course, comes to mind, and then Devin Booker and Chris Paul on the other side. Certainly could have plenty of opportunity to get some quick buckets here, and we know the usage is going to flow through them in their respective offenses. So certainly could have interest in those three guys. Then once we get down to the bigs, things get a little bit more dicey. DeAndre Ayton's the clear play on the Phoenix side of things. He's not really competing with anyone else for those boards. On the Atlanta side of things, it's John Collins and Clint Capella, which can get a little bit negatively correlated if you're playing one or the other. Maybe just play one in one lineup and one in the other type of deal, because they are going to have a direct impact on each other as far as the amount of rebounds they're expected to grab, etc. And of course, that's going to impact your upside in this one. And as far as the cheap plays in this one, anyone that's grading out, DeAndre Hunter continues to play around 30 minutes a game. He's only 4-1 on DraftKings, so he could certainly surpass that price tag, and you could certainly be playing him in your DraftKings lineup. Cameron Payne's the minimum salary at $3K. Only got him projected for like 13 minutes. He grades out as a decent possible upside play at that price tag, but it's not like as if I'm getting too excited. And then we have really just a bunch of punt plays on this Atlanta side. You have Danilo Gallinari, Kevin Huerter, and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Bogdan Bogdanovic, a little bit less of a punt play, but still grades out as a pretty good play at 5.2 here. Playing 30 minutes a game, he could certainly surpass that price tag. And then when you go down to Kevin Huerter and Danilo Gallinari, it's 3.7 and 3.6. Their respective price tags, they're certainly standing out as guys that could surpass their price tags if you're looking for a punt in your tournament lineups. Last game on the slate is going to be the LA Lakers taking on Portland. LeBron James continues to be out. He's going to be out for at least a week. That's obviously going to have a big impact on the Lakers' usage, and Anthony Davis is also listed as questionable in this one. So that's certainly big news. If Anthony Davis is in, he's going to continue to be a great play as long as that isn't hindering his performance. He put up 65 DraftKings points last time out, so I tend to think I'm just not even going to worry about it. If he plays, he should be good. This is the last game on the slate, so I would highly recommend that you leave yourself some flexibility to be able to play him in your lineups and or make some adjustments if we don't get the news right away that he's going to be in or out, which I'm assuming we won't because that's just how these things work. Russell Westbrook would, of course, become the top play on the slate if there is no Anthony Davis. He would just soak up so much usage and be responsible for so much in this Lakers offense that it would be really difficult to be fading him. So I would certainly like him a bunch. I like him a bunch as is with Davis in. These two guys would be great plays. If Davis comes out, of course, it's going to give a big bump up to a guy like a Carmelo Anthony, a Kent Bazemore. Things are going to get a lot more interesting on the Lakers side of things. These guys are all going to have to step into bigger roles. Could also be looking to possibly play some other guys that haven't quite had the largest minute size. And, of course, one of them would be Dwight Howard. He's only been playing like 15 minutes a game. If there's no Anthony Davis, he could possibly step into a starting role. He's only 3.7. That would be another big value play on the slate. DeAndre Jordan at only 3.2 could step into some more minutes. And then, of course, some more usage to maybe guys like Malik Monk off the bench, maybe a Rajon Rondo even. I know they're not directly correlated, but someone's going to have to fill in those minutes. And things would become a lot more interesting for sure if there's no Anthony Davis. Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Dwight Howard, Wayne Ellington off as a winger, Avery Bradley, Kent Bazemore. You know, someone's going to have to score. So all those guys are just really cheap. If there's no Anthony Davis, they're going to step in and be viable plays. And then on the Portland side, they're pretty healthy. So, I mean, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic is kind of the normal candidates. Right now, I'm leaning towards playing CJ McCollum over Damian Lillard every single night. He's just been producing at a high rate. He's cheaper. It's really that simple. And I don't really see the need to have to go to him. Carmelo Anthony, you can make a case for a little bit of a revenge narrative here, taking on Portland. I'm not really sure he's out for revenge against them, but it is a former team. That's always a thing in DFS. And then you got the cheap guy in Robert Covington who plays some pretty decent minutes. He's responsible for playing a lot of defense. He's only 4.1, and he could certainly surpass that price tag. So that is my overall breakdown of this 5-game slate. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Dennis Schroeder. No more Jaylen Brown in this Boston Celtics rotation. Going to be a big usage bump for him in this one. Underpriced across the industry. Only priced at 5.4 on DraftKings. 6K on FanDuel, putting up 0.96 FanDuel points per minute. And as far as DraftKings, 0.98 DraftKings points per minute. I got him projected for right around 30 minutes right now at his respective price tag. Should easily be able to surpass this as far as his upside and production. Not to mention, love the spot taking on Dallas. Not scared of their defense whatsoever. Plenty of things lining up here for Dennis Schroeder. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Dennis Schroeder, get him in your lineups. And that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. Check out the KJK DFS Premium Package, link below in the description. And if you would like to join the KJK DFS Fan Club on YouTube, you get priority comments answered, you get the badge next to your name. You could go ahead and hit the join button down below the video as well. completely optional. These are all ways to show your support, and simply hitting the like button is free and shows your support as well. So I appreciate all you guys. Wish you all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.